Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky awards his former commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces with the Hero of Ukraine title.
Protesters are pressuring Hungary's president to resign after it was revealed she pardoned a man convicted as an accomplice in a child sexual abuse case.
Faced with Russia, security is set to dominate Finland's runoff presidential election on Sunday.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is awarded General Valery Zaluzhnyi with the Order of the Golden Star and the title of Hero of Ukraine. The award presentation comes a day after he was removed as Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. His replacement, General Alexander Syrsky, made his first statement in the role, saying that he plans to take a tougher approach. With Kyiv's forces largely on the defensive in the war with Russia, he said his immediate goals were to improve the rotation of troops on the front lines and to harness the power of new technology. He wrote on Telegram that only changes and continuous improvement of the means and methods of warfare will allow us to succeed on this path. New tasks are on the agenda, he said. Meanwhile, according to Ukrainian authorities, there were over 90 Russian combat clashes on Friday, including 49 airstrikes and 52 rocket strikes on Ukrainian troops' positions and populated areas. As a result of the airstrike in the Sumy region, 2 civilians were killed, 4 injured, and houses, a farm and a warehouse were damaged.
Israel's Prime Minister has ordered the military to prepare a civilian evacuation plan for Rafah, as it plans to invade the city which Israel claims is Hamas's last stronghold. The announcement comes after more than 20 people were killed in strikes on central Gaza and Rafah. Meanwhile, criticism of the Israeli offensive in Gaza is also growing, with President Biden saying that the military campaign is over the top. The UN World Food Programme's director in Palestine said on Friday that famine could hit Gaza as early as May. The lack of food has put half the population at risk of famine, with the situation worse in the north, which is almost inaccessible to aid convoys. The Israeli army has also released footage of what it says are airstrikes against Hamas targets that killed 15 militants in Khan Yunis.
Protesters are pressuring Hungary's President Katalin Novak to resign after it was revealed she pardoned a man convicted as an accomplice in a child sexual abuse case. Novak pardoned the former deputy director of a state-run children's home last year. The man was sentenced in 2018 to more than 3 years in prison for helping to cover up the sexual abuse committed by the institution's director, who himself was sentenced to 8 years for his abuse of at least 10 children.
Orbán Viktor csütörtök délután Facebook videóban jelentette be, alkotmánymódosítást nyújt be. Ezt azóta meg is tette. Arról, hogy kiskorúak sérelmére elkövetett bűncselekmények esetében ne lehessen államfői kegyelmet kapni. Novák Katalin az ügyről eddig mindössze egy kérdést kapott még a hét elején egy sajtótájékoztatón, ahol érdemben nem válaszolt arra a kérdésre, hogy miért is adott kegyelmet K. Endrének. A köztársasági elnöki kegyelmet egyébként a mindenkori igazságügyi miniszternek kellett ellenjegyezni. Ezt a posztot a bicskei ügyben hozott döntés idején Varga Judit töltötte be. A demonstráció napján Novák Katalin nem tartózkodik az országban. Facebookján pénteken a dohai vizes VB helyszínéről posztolt képek jelentek meg. Kónya Rita, Euronews, Budapest.
Faced with Russia, security is set to dominate the runoff votes for Finland's next president on Sunday. The candidates are former centre-right Prime Minister Alexander Stubb and ex-Foreign Minister Pekka Haavisto of the Greens. Both call for Finland, which recently joined NATO, to take a tough stance against Russia. Stubb leads the polls, but Haavisto is gaining ground.
Some people will make their minds up on Saturday, perhaps even Sunday, on the election day. So they're campaigning very actively to the end, but it's unlikely that any new openings, things will be visible in the last few days. What makes the situation exciting is that the gap between them has been narrowing.
The candidates of the far-right Finns Party and the Liberal Centre Party were eliminated in the first round. Their voters, up to 20% of the electorate, could be crucial in deciding the final outcome.